There's three parts usually: emission test, visual inspection of the emission control devices, and other parts that it's anything that is missing or it's been modified or changed. And the last thing is functional test. Functional test, there's two tests usually: fuel cap test and a check engine light test. We're gonna scan the customer vehicle information registration card. There's a barcode usually, either this one or the renewal form. We just enter it into the computer. Once we do that, we go in and fill in the customer information to our database. It's just a simple process: your name, address, and phone number, and email contact, and that's about it. And then we put the vehicle information. We print out the invoice. The invoice shows the price and what we're gonna do: name, address, and phone number, and a price for the smog check, whatever the vehicle is, and the smog inspection prices and the certificate prices. So then we have you customer sign the paperwork, and then start the process. We hook up the diagnostic connector cable to the vehicle, so we can read all the information from the car. So make sure it's the right car. You're not testing somebody else's car in there. This diagnostic connector will tell us the vehicle age, the VIN number. It checks for the VIN number accuracy. It'll read the computer test. It'll run the computer test, and it will do diagnostic check, quick check. In the meantime, we're gonna do the process of driving the car on a dynamometer. If it's a two-wheel drive car, we put whatever the front wheel or rear wheel on a dynamometer. If it's a four-wheel drive car, we don't drive it on a dynamometer. We just do idle test or the high RPM test. And this is the emission tester. We just hook it up to the tailpipe. Basically, it will read the emissions coming out of the tailpipe while we're driving the car on dynamometer. So that part is done. We're just gonna follow up with the procedure and then go to the next step. If it was a problem with the computer system of the car, it would say failed, and it would give you codes, the code numbers, and so this one says test complete. It doesn't say anything else. That means that part of the test is passed. So now we're gonna remove the cables and do a visual inspection for the emission devices under the hood, under the car, checking the gas cap, make sure it's nice and tight and it's not broken or missing. I've seen cars that have missing gas caps. That obviously it's a fail if it's missing gas cap. Look at this car emission diagram. It's just supposed to have a catalytic converter, EGR, all the other stuff. It shows the picture where the items are, the parts are, and then we just kind of follow through. Just a visual, no touchy and feeling, just a visual. Make sure that everything is there, it's not disconnected or modified. This will probably take about 2-3 minutes of time. Usually we go under the car, just a visual again, check the catalytic converter, make sure the catalytic converter is there and it's the right catalytic converter. Then we check the fuel cap, and sometimes we have to do a fuel cap functional test. On most of the car nowadays, 2000 and up, state says it's not required to do a fuel cap test because the computer itself, it checks for the problems. If there's a problem with the fuel cap, it will turn on a check engine light on, and then we have to check that and see what the problem is and go from there. If it has a leaky fuel cap or a vacuum hose that is disconnected or something. We're going to enter all the visual inspection report to the machine, saying that there's nothing disconnected and everything is connected the way it's supposed to be. And we're basically going to go under the car again and check the catalytic converter device. looks good. And you're gonna make sure the fuel cap is there and the valve is not missing. Everything looks good. Gotta make sure it's nice and tight. You always have to turn that thing three clicks to make sure it's properly sealed. The last thing is entering the functional test report, like if we had to do a fuel cap test or timing check on this car, or if you're running a evaporative emission test on a pre-96 cars, you have to do evaporative emission test, and we use a different machine to do that. But obviously on this car, this is newer, 2002, we don't have to enter that. We don't have to do a test on that. So we just enter that, and is asking here if we got any repairs to this car. We're just gonna put no. If there was repairs to this car, we had to enter what we did, and so the state knows if we did some repairs on the emission system and if we reduce any emissions doing these repairs. Okay, so we'll wait for the test report to go to the state. It communicates through telephone line, and once we get the report back, it shows pass or fail. Then we'll print the report, sign it, and then give it to the customer. And once the report is there, you don't have to mail that report to the state. The state is automatically gets the report through the telephone line here. So you keep that report for yourself. We got the report from the state. It shows the smog check results. It shows all pass emission devices, emission report, visual inspection report, and functional test report. So this car obviously passed the test with flying colors. I'm going to print the report and give one of the copies to the customer, and we're going to keep one of them here. Bye.